Kent State really does care about its students, and I think that if a student wants to feel supported throughout their time here and feel like they have someone to go to for help or for advice or just to talk, Kent State is the place for that.
The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
What up, hoop ballers, and welcome to the Tuesday, November 16th edition of DFS Today. I am your host, Santino Cacone, and we have a nice, small 3-game slate for you today. After a big Monday and before a big Wednesday, we have a small 3-game slate. Not to be outdone for stars, though, especially in that first one. Second one, if everyone is healthy. Third one, we got some as well, but that first game is a monumental one. Before we jump into that, before we get on to the slate themselves, who's playing, whatnot, I want to give a shout out all over to our friends at Manscaped, the #1 men's below the waist grooming out there. It's simply incredible. If you don't know about Manscaped, you should give it a look while we're entering into the holiday season. They have fantastic products led by the Perfect Package 4.0, featuring the Lawnmower 4.0 and all the goodies that come with it. You're not going to want to miss that. Give it a look. And you can get 20% off and free shipping by entering the promo code HoopBall20 at checkout. Again, that's HoopBall20 at checkout, manscaped.com, and you get 20% off and free shipping right in time for the holiday season. All right, without further ado, let's jump in to this nice 3-game slate here. The first game on the docket is the big one of the night. We have the Golden State Warriors traveling across country, taking on the Brooklyn Nets. We have a 220 game total, and the Nets are 4-point home favorites. On the injury report for the Nets, we have Nick Claxton, Joe Harris, Kyrie Irving, Paul Millsap all out. On the Warriors, we have Klay Thompson, James Wiseman both out, and Gary Payton the second probable. All right, let's jump on over to the Warriors. They are the away team. And we got Chef, Curry. The 3 highest priced guys on the slate are in this first game. So we're going to have a ton of exposure to this game. A lot of people are going to play it. It's just one of those marquee matchups. And I forgot to say, it tips off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The other 2 games don't start until 10 and 10:30. So this game is all by its lonesome. It's just as prime time as you can get. Right, but starting with Steph, yeah, he's definitely in play here. I know he's 10-9. He's the highest priced guy on the game, but back-to-back games with over 56 fantasy points, and then a couple games before that, he dropped 88. The guy's in another zone right now, and this defense not going to cause him too much of a problem here. When he's in his groove, he's in his groove. He only shot 7 of 22 in the last one, and he still put up 56 fantasy points. 10 assists, 6 rebounds. He's getting steals. He's been blocking some shots lately. He's been on fire. So he's definitely in play. Draymond Green at 6'4". This is a game that he gets up for. He'll be guarding KD a lot. That's his frenemy? They hate each other and kind of friends at the same time. But this is a good game for him. Going to be expending a lot of his energy on the defensive end, but he's going to want to show out for this game as well. 6,400. This game he gets up for. That's a solid price tag for him. Kevin Looney at 3,500. He's been playing pretty decent. He has 3 straight games with 20 or more minutes, and he's rebounding the ball 17, 10, and 8 in his last 3 games rebounding. Not too much offensively, but we can see him getting another 20 minutes and doing pretty well for himself on the glass here. And at 3,500, I think he'll bring back value. We have a bunch of stars on the slate. We're going to be looking for people to chip in that are fairly cheap. That said, Otto Porter Jr., Damian Lee, Bielitsa, they're all people that you're giving some thought to as well. I like Looney the most. And then Damian Lee, the second out of that group at 3,200. He has the most consistent minutes lately. He had in the teens in the last two, but before that he hit two games straight of 20. And then earlier in the season before he missed a few games, he was playing 20 minutes regularly. So if you can get to 20 minutes in this type of matchup, 3,200 is a price tag we can float at as well. Iguodala is another guy that might be getting up for this one. His old teammate, one of the best teams in the league going against. I just don't really want to go there at 3,100. I'd rather stick to the other Lee and Looney down there outside of Curry and Green. But that's pretty much where I'm looking at on the Warriors. On the other side of the ball, we see Joe Harris out for this one. So the lineup is going to be changed. We're going to see someone enter that starting lineup. Maybe they go big. I doubt it. But we could see Patty Mills draw the start in this one. Not 100% sure. Bruce Brown probably draws the start, I would assume. Maybe Blake Griffin could pop up, or Bembry could draw the start. We'll see how that actually shakes out. But somebody on that cheap value there. I like Patty Mills out of the couple guys that I mentioned. It's a matchup that he's going to have to play in a lot. And after coming off at 10 of 16 and 9 of 12 shooting from 3, he's currently in the zone. I know it's only one game, but when he's on a streaker, that's when we like to hit him again. And again, no Joe Harris. There's extra minutes available for him, whether it's on ball or off ball.
People like to have fun during the holidays. You know what's not fun? Returning an ugly sweater. Don't give anyone an ugly sweater this year. Give Choice gift cards from giftcards.com instead, and they can pick their own sweater from some of their favorite brands. It's genius.
Some coffee's fast, but not fresh. Some coffee's fresh, but only after a long wait. Speedway Coffee is made fresh at the push of a button, hot or iced, so you can have fresh coffee your way, right away. Get 2 times the points when you buy any size hot or iced coffee drink with Speedy Rewards.
And that's a good thing for him. At only 3,800, I think we can look there. If Bembry draws the start at 3,200, probably going to get a lot of looks at. Bruce Brown at 4,200 gets some looks there. You have Blake Griffin very cheap at 4 and LaMarcus Aldridge at 4.8. Decent plays, probably not going to go attack either of them at the moment. And then out of Durant and Harden, I'm more so looking at Durant in this one, going against his former team. He's going to see a lot more of Draymond in this one, but he's also going to get up. Harden's not a bad play at 10-6, but I like seeing Durant at home against his former Warrior team where he won a couple championships, and a team that he left to go play in Brooklyn. Yeah, I like some Kevin Durant on the other side of the ball, and then some cheap exposure down there, especially with Joe Harris out, minutes open in the rotation, and the starting spot is up for grabs for quite a few people. So we'll see exactly who gets that starting spot, but I think it's probably Bembry or Mills to me, but I like Mills the most out of it, even if he doesn't start, which he probably won't. All right, we're going to jump on over to the middle game of the night. Starts at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the Philadelphia 76ers traveling pretty much across country to take on the Utah Jazz. We have a 217 game total, which of the 3 is the lowest, and the Jazz are 9-point home favorites. On the injury report, we have Danny Green, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, Grant Riller, all out. On the Jazz, we have Rudy Gay as out. Sixers have been playing pretty well, even though they're pretty much missing most of their team. Andre Drummond is finally starting to get priced appropriate. The last couple games, he's now near 9K, which 8.7 right now, where he should be. Now it's not so much of a lock and load, especially against Rudy Gobert. They're like that Spider-Man meme, as Mike likes to say. They're gonna point at each other and act like they're the same person, especially in the fantasy game. At 8-7 though, he's not as much of a lock. When he was in the mid fives, and even before under 8, he was. You look at him and you know you got to go there. But Tobias Harris right next to him, 8-5. Yeah, I'd rather take a shot at Tobias Harris. His matchup is a little bit easier here. He's easily the alpha on the team without Embiid right now, or Simmons. He's going to take a bunch of shots. Tyrese Maxey been playing out of his mind. The guy is actually he's shooting 52% from the field on the year, which is astonishing. 7-2 is not a bad price tag. I don't really want to attack him in this exact matchup, but especially since we know there are some big guys on the slate, especially mostly in that first game, and in a couple in the next game. And I don't really want to attack him there, but it's just phenomenal how he's shooting 52% from the field. Just wanted to mention that one. Seth Curry, 5,400. Pretty solid of a price tag. I don't think the upside is massive, but it's not a huge price tag. It's a nice mid-range price tag where we can look at here, and he's likely to beat that. Gorgeous Georges Niang at 4,100. I like that price tag going against this old team that he was playing for recently. The guy's getting mid 20 minutes here. We're still missing a lot of guys. Danny Green's just out for this one as well. 4,100 is a solid price tag to go to. Again, we're going to need some of these cheap guys here to play, and we know he's playing, and we know he's pretty solid when he plays. I would expect Korkmaz to start in this one and Niang to come off the bench, but there are at least 5-6 minutes up for grabs for him to take. And now we can get closer to upper 20s, even possibly low 30s in minutes at 4,100. Yeah, I'll take that in against his former team. It's a nice play there. And that's one of the guys I'll be looking at on this side of the ball. On the other side of the ball, mentioned Drummond. Gobert's in similar territory here, but we get a $1,000 discount. I'd much prefer, if they were the same price, I would take Drummond. But $1,000 discount here on a slate like this, yes, I like Gobert at 77. That's still pretty solid. Andre Drummond is not the greatest of defenders, though he's been playing pretty well this year. But the last couple of years, he was getting chewed up. I don't think Gobert is the type of offensive threat that can take advantage of that, but he will be getting his fair share of rebounds. He'll still be getting extra putbacks in there as well. And he looks pretty good at only 7,700. That's a solid price tag here. Probably the most, the one guy I'll be attacking. We'll see if like Mike Conley or someone winds up missing a game, but I highly doubt it. Jordan Clarkson and Bogdanovich, they're inconsistent and streaky. You got to pick them on the right night. This one I would lean more towards Clarkson to take a chance on, but I like rather just go to Seth Curry on the opposite side of the ball at a similar price tag to those guys. Mitchell is a nice contrarian play if you're not going to go super expensive in the mega territory, especially in that first game. I'll keep him in my player pool, but I probably will have more exposure to more expensive guys. Some of my more balanced lineups, though, Mitchell will make it, and you could also fit him in with another superstar. Now that he's only 8'6", it's not a super crazy price tag. The matchup's pretty solid for him, so I like him. Gobert makes sense. Clarkson, I'll take a chance on, but again, I like Curry on the other side of the ball a little bit better than these guys. The rest of the guys. All right, let's jump on over to the last game of the night. Very quick one here. And before we do that, got to let you guys know, the NBA is back and at DraftKings Sportsbook, an authorized sports betting partner of the NBA. The key to victory is a strong starting five. New customers can bet just $5 on any NBA team to win their game. And if they do, you win $200 in free bets. DraftKings Sportsbook customers can also get their skin in the game with new same-game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code NBA today. Bet just $5 on any NBA team to win their game, and you win $200 in free bets. If they win, you win. With promo code NBA today, this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an authorized sports betting partner of the NBA. All right. We are on to this last game of the night. We have at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, San Antonio Spurs taking on the red-hot Los Angeles Clippers, coming off a loss. Said red-hot, and they finally lost the game. But we have a 218.5 game total, and the Clippers are 6.5-point home favorites. On the injury report, we have Ibaka still in the G League, Keon Johnson, Kawhi Leonard, Terrence Mann, Marcus Morris Sr., and Jason Preston all out. On the Spurs, Zach Collins, Jack Landale, Jakob Poeltl, all out for this one. We'll start with the Spurs. And again, we have another high-priced guy in Deontay Murray. He had himself a big one in the last one, which was probably expected. I saw that one coming. He killing the Lakers this year. But the Clippers are a different ball game. Their defense is fantastic. 95, a little bit pricey for me. I want to take him, but I think there's a guy on the other side of the ball. It's going to cost a lot. Only 700 more. I would lean more towards 800 more. You can get Durant. 900 less. You can get Donovan. So I'm going to lean more away towards Murray in this one. But Thad Young, Drew Eubanks, Devin Vassell, even Derek White now at 5'4". Those guys make a ton of sense to me. It's just very cheap. And Keldon Johnson's been playing fantastic. He's scored over 30 points in his last 5 games. And he's 6K, so he's hit value or more every game in the last 5 games. This is going to be a little bit of tougher matchup here. Those 5 games were Orlando, the Thunder, Sacramento, Dallas, Lakers. This Clippers team is much better defensively than those guys. So I don't really want to pay that price for him. But he has been crushing value. It is something to note. But the guy's right under him in White at 5'4". I know he's been slumping, but it's still a very solid price tag. Mentioned a couple other guys on that range. I like him and Seth a lot. Those are the two that I'll go mostly. And Thad Young, same range. Him and Drew Eubanks have both been solid without Poeltl, and we know Poeltl's not going to play in this one. They're both going to get a good chunk of minutes. I don't mind going to either of them. And Devin Vassell, this guy's been playing really well. He hit back-to-back games of 30 minutes, 6 of 11 shooting, identical in both those games, 39 actual points. He's hitting value. 3 straight games over 27 fantasy points, and 4 out of his that'll tickle. 6 out of his last 7, I should say, over 24 fantasy points. I mean, he's not even 5K here, so he's just crushing value. He makes a ton of sense, even in a tough matchup. And if you're going bargain bin hunting, like super deep, Doug McDermott. The guy's getting a lot of minutes right now. In his last 5 games, he's gotten 24.5 minutes, 18 fantasy points. I mean, he's hitting value there. We know he's going to get 24 to 30-ish minutes. And they could play him at small ball center in some lineups, which the Clippers play small sometimes as well. So at such a cheap price, you can take a dance there. Devin Vassell's probably the bankest for value here at 4,700. But any of those guys are in play to me. Though again, I'll have the most exposure to Vassell here. On the other side of the ball, Paul George makes sense if you want to have exposure to this team. the Spurs aren't the greatest of defense, and they play at a fast pace. Two things that the Clippers aren't doing right now. But Paul George is been awesome. And he makes it for a pivot play from that first game where you have Harden, Curry, Durant, all slightly above him. The only guys above him. If you want to be a little bit different, get some less exposure to that first game, you think it's going to be more defensive oriented. Paul George makes a lot of sense here as a play. We know a lot of people are going to go after that first game as well. Historically, people play the earlier games anyway, so this makes more sense if you wanted to just get lesser exposure there. If you don't go with Paul George, we still got some options here. Zubats, 4,900. We know that Pirtle's not playing, so the center option in the center spot here a little bit better for us. And we know Ibaka's still in the G League. We know Marcus Morris Sr. is still out. So Zubats at 4,900 makes some sense. Eric Bledsoe at 5,200. Reggie Jackson. More so Reggie Jackson, but Eric Bledsoe had himself a solid game in the other one. I don't really like a bunch of the value guys here, but the matchup is really good. It's the best defense that you're gonna go against tonight. So I will take some chances here on a guy like a Nick Batum or Reggie Jackson here at 6'1", who had himself a not so great game in that loss against the Bulls the other night. But Zubats is the guy that I'm targeting the most here, and at 4,900, I think it just makes some sense. Not the greatest of upside, like we know that, but the matchup is pretty solid, especially without Pirtle. And then we'll have to keep an eye on if Terrence Mann plays. If he doesn't play, that does make Batum a little bit better. That does make Luke Kennard, who could possibly start, a lot of bit better at 4K. Eric Bledsoe, more minutes for him. We'll see exactly what happens. I don't mind Terrence Mann if he plays, but if he doesn't, Luke Kennard makes some sense. Even if you don't want to wait, and if you just want to throw Luke Kennard in there anyway, 4K is not a price tag that is going to kill you, and he could hit it even with Mann there. Without Mann, looks a lot better. All right, that does it for this edition of DFS Today. Before we go, I'll throw out favorite tiered players really quickly. All right. In that expensive tier, we have that first game. I'm going to go KD. It's just that revenge narrative going against the Warriors. I like it there. I know he's going to see a lot of Draymond, but you can get the better of Draymond as well. And KD's just super safe. Right in that mid tier, I might throw it right back at him. Say Draymond Green, right back at him. I think they're both going to go at each other. I think they're both going to have fun. They're both going to be super passionate. We know how they get. But at 6,300 in a game like this, Draymond's going to be doing a little bit of everything. Like the Draymond of old, I can see him hitting a couple threes. Actually taking them is going to be a shock, but I can see him hitting a couple threes in a game like this, and I'll have some exposure to both those guys. Really like the matchup against each other right there. My favorite value play, Devin Vassell. He's just been really good, man. I said it, 6 out of 7 games over 24 fantasy points. He's hitting value. Even if he hits 24 points, he's right on value. And he's done it 6 of 7 games. And outside of the game that he actually hit 24, his next lowest was over 27. So he's just hitting value a lot here. And he hit 30 minutes in the last 2 games. Most of those other ones he wasn't hitting in 30 minutes. That's a plus. He's been playing really well. Only 4,700. I will have Devin Vassell in my lineups. All right. Well, that does it for this edition of DFS Today. Thank you guys for joining us, and we will catch you again tomorrow. Peace.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.